Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our global family. This is Power to Lead show with Nseki Ngcoco. On a Wednesday, in the middle of the week, we come together to empower each other, heal each other, inspire, influence, and educate. So today we continue with our program of the women, internationally celebrating the month of March. So we continue with that. Let me open the show as usual with a word of prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for being with us. We honor you, we worship you, we appreciate you, Almighty God, for creating us in your image, for granting us one more opportunity to live today. Thank you for the beautiful day for those who are ending the day. And thank you for the morning for those who are still starting their day. And thank you for working with those who are in the midday. As we start this session, we invite you to be with us, be in the tip of our tongues. Let us share from the bottom of our hearts how we uplift each other as women and girls globally, that your name may be glorified. In the mighty name of Yeshua, amen. Family, I am not alone. As usual, let me bring into stage the beautiful women who are joining us today from the global stages. Oh, wow, wow. Hey, look at us. Look at us. How beautiful are we, the Rainbow Nation? Let's wave to the viewers. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am not alone in the studio as usual. I'm going to introduce them one by one according to the flyer. We have a lineup on the flyer. I'm going to bring forth Dr. Milan Labre from Mexico in the USA. Kindly tell us who you are, where are you from, and what do you do? We
Hello,
don't read
yes,
bios.
thank
Let
you.
me give you the reason why we don't read bios. We are
Okay.
influencing the viewers. We are making people understand that it is good to know yourself, to be confident about speaking about yourself, the journey and experience you have been, and where you are leading and taking dominion. So now over to you to give us your dominion status. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Milan Labre, and I have been a psychology professor specializing in child development and emotional intelligence for the last 19 years. I'm also an advocate for, of course, women and children and animals. I'm an actress, and I'm also the global chair for the G100 Volunteerism and Values sector. And I appreciate you inviting me today to join in on this very special topic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Doc. We are going to talk about this kind of, being a versatile vessel on earth, on the things that you do as we go along. Coming up next, who's going to introduce herself is Dr. Ria. Dr. Ria, please tell us
Greet-
who you are and take your domino status.
Greetings, everybody. A warm greetings from my country, South Africa. Born and bred here, proudly showing my flag of orchid. I'm Dr. Ria. I am the founder for A Journey Beyond Inspiration. I'm a motivational speaker. I do humanitarian work, philanthropy, and a whole lot of other spreading schemes, which is involving with all mental illness, all sectors of life included. The list goes on, a multi award winning recipient for many aspects in life, coming forward, also being in stage and theatre from 8 years old, growing up, serving community, humanity, and continuing to do that in every aspect of my life.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. We rain from South Africa. All right. I've got a flag for you. And now I'm bringing to stage Misha. Misha, please tell us who you are and where are you from? And what do
Hello,
you do?
everyone. I'm Nisha Dhanuka. I am from India. Uh, it's 10 o'clock, almost 10:30 in India. Very glad to be on the show. So professionally, I have run my own business into accounting and finance space. I do a lot of sessions and awareness in the space of financial inclusion of women, uh, how they need to take charge of the finance and the money. And in terms of G100, I am part of business networking wing from India, Karnataka chair, and a strong supporter of blood donation and scribing for blind students in India. So that's about me. Love to know more about and be part of this show. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so, so much. Now we're going to come, all of us, to the stage. Let's all come to the stage. All right, for me, this is Dr. Nzigi from South Africa. So I welcome you all on this virtual stage. I'm a leadership and legacy coach, an international public speaker, personal development and personal mastery coach and mentor entrepreneur. I'm a bestseller author. And thank you for being on the platform with me. Let's all get now on the same wavelength so that we can share this beautiful topic today. It's just one word, DigitALL, what we're given by the UN, but we are not boxing ourselves and limiting ourselves to that because we are women. We are creative and we do things our own way. We have our own minds for that matter, but we appreciate the leading and guidance from the UN that they gave us a topic for this year, for this month. So, what does this mean to you? Let me start with Dr. Milan. Empowering women and girls, innovation and technology, equality. What does this mean to you?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this. Hashtag me too, hashtag times up, hashtag ni una menos, hashtag he for she, hashtag bring back our girls, and hashtag challenge accepted. One or more of these may be really familiar to you, and these are just a few of the examples of powerful campaigns that have been implemented and impacted global change and given voices to those who were once silenced. Digital media has provided a safer place for women to speak up and discuss issues that are critical to their very survival. And campaigns like these have brought to the forefront topics such as sexual harassment, domestic violence, genital mutilation, my body, my choice, sex trafficking, and other issues that have largely been narrated by the voice of men. Many campaigns like these and others have gathered tremendous momentum thanks to digital amplification. In fact, the entire world is at one's fingertips through mobile and digital technology. Information that in the past may have been hidden behind politics, religion, poverty, and gender inequality is now available and at the hands of approximately 79% of women worldwide. But I think this is just the start, as we have so much further to go with regard to supporting the young women that are coming up. But one of the things that I think that we have to do first and foremost is come to a consensus on how we define empowerment. Because for me, the definition of the word empower is to give power to somebody or to make someone stronger and more confident. And I kind of struggle with these keywords a bit because they're give and make. And if we want women and girls to come out stronger in the digital era, they don't need us to give them permission or influence or their talents to be future thought leaders. And it really isn't for us to make them better because they're already divine Shakti warriors. Their true strength lies in, I believe, finding their own path and courage and inner voice. So what do I believe our job is? Well, I believe our job is to model and teach young girls about their value and how to set healthy boundaries, develop emotional intelligence, and learn really positive coping strategies. But first, women need to understand and find ways to unravel their personal and generational trauma so they can embrace their full potential. And to do this, women need a safe space to heal, connect, and learn that the ones who broke us cannot heal us. So instead of empowerment, I would suggest we create digital opportunities to support self reliance, resilience, and self responsibility. And so, how do we do this, right? So, to truly support women, we need, in the digital space, we need more education in areas like health literacy. We need more outreach and opportunities for coaching and planning. And we most certainly do not need more makeup lessons or women like the Kardashians creating narratives of who women should be. Young girls need more heroes like Maya Angelou and Jane Addams to look up to and to model after. Now they only have celebrities and influencers who make millions off of like gossip and shopping and tutorials. I personally believe that influencers should be rewarded for their awareness, their values, and their volunteerism. But let's face it, this digital era has hooked us all. Me too. And sadly, what we're creating are future generations of socially inept youth with some narcissistic character traits who really lack healthy coping strategies. So obviously, we need radical change in the areas like education and digital media. So if we want to see global change, we're going to need to support more things like service to others or volunteerism, pay it forward movements, education reform, strong women initiatives, and women entrepreneurs. But did you know that sadly only 7% of women entrepreneurs are funded by venture capitalists and angel investors? So obviously we still have a lot of, like, a really long way to go in so many areas. In the meantime, I think the best thing that we can do as women and those who support women is to stop backing things and people who do not serve the collective and keep women stuck in old patterns and paradigms. Because the reality is, at the end of the day, we can't change anyone but ourselves. So use digital media to model the strength, fortitude, and courage that we all hope for young girls and women worldwide. But, and this is a big but, first, we must be willing to step up and be different ourselves if we want to see different. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, a round of applause from all of us. Thank you so much. And it was power packed with keywords and key lines that all of us has picked up a word that we know. We can write a chapter about that. First of all, I picked what you said, what is very critical, that people don't need a permission to be given to women and girls. And I put it with our line on Power to Lead show that the power is within us. All of us, we all have the power, and everything comes from within. What we can do, we can enhance that. Thank you so much. Let me give to the next speaker and share the views and hear what Dr. Ria is going to say about this topic.
Greetings, everybody, once again. I've forgot to mention, or I have not put told you guys about that. I'm from the wing for G100 Oneness and Wisdom. I am the chair for KwaZulu Natal province in South Africa. It is not for Johannesburg. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Milan. What a wonderful, you have actually expressed a lot of my views, which I wanted to bring up. It also has to do with what I currently do in empowering people that don't have it all or cannot have it all, who has been on stage and is marketing themselves in a different manner. But using digital ways, For me, I would like, and I would go all out into this and want to improve that people are women, girls are educated on the side effects about cyberbullying, about the side effects of the digital world, the harassment part, how you can curb this, how you can stop it, how you can be educated in a manner where you are taught how to use strategy to be able to use this thing. And the only way you can do that is if data is provided in the communities, in the rural communities. Most communities do not have access to data, do not have access to Wi-Fi, do not have access to many technologies. So having these in place is actually going to help them to be educated on how to be digital wise, technology wise, how to operate, how to use things in for your advantage, and make sure that you're not pulled in the wrong direction with digital. Young girls today are actually going in the wrong ways because they're not educated digitally about how to handle social media, how to handle a digital life. And so I would suggest and bring into place and say that these things need to come about for being educated and providing skills and training in all sectors, and providing a safe place for women, a safe place for young girls who aren't aware about the digital life and how it can contribute to major things, to finding jobs. And all you see, like Dr. Milan has mentioned, all you see nowadays is videos circulating how to apply makeup, which dress works well, which dance steps are good. That's not really helpful if somebody is going walking from a rural life into a digital world, and all she sees is, okay, this is what I need to know. But then cyberbullying comes in place, harassment comes in place, and they don't know how to handle it, how to actually figure out how can we curb this. But putting up more videos, educating, free videos, and telling, listen guys, when you're on digital, this is how you can care for yourself, this is how you can operate, this is how you can, which button you need to press, how you put your settings, which settings can be used to make sure that nobody, privacy settings, which settings can be involved so that you don't fall into the wrong boat, into the wrong shoes. So for me, that would be the digital era, into where education in that part comes about, as to showing people, listen, this is how we handle it. It's not only about the front, the prettiness about it, but what goes on behind, and whose eyes. And a lot of times it falls into the wrong people's minds, in the wrong people's thoughts, and they come about and abuse that about you, your innocence. So curbing that is coming from our side.
Wow. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And these are just introductions. You know, the cyberbullying is something that is really critical as well. I've been talking about this for a very long time. And how is this going to be handled? Above all, the lack of, let alone the lack of infrastructure, the lack of resources for these people that we say we want to uplift, we want to, develop, advance, support, motivate to use the digital space. Do they even have the gadgets? Do they even have the data to, to connect online? Are they able to be on a space where there's Wi-Fi or there's a digital connection? We leave it there. We are going to come back on the next round. For now, we are going to allow Misha to tell us about this topic. What is your interest, and also what is your take on this International Women's Month topic for this year?
Thank you so much again for giving this opportunity to share my thoughts on this global platform. I feel it's very important for the women to become financially independent. When we talk about women empowerment, when we talk about women inclusion, it's very important that financial independence, financial freedom is something that gives them wings to take calls, to take actions, and to voice out their thought process. So my contribution or my input for this on this International Women's Day is that we should use this digital space when we are connected globally. Geography is no more is history. I'm sitting here and talking to people sitting across the globe. So we should use the digital space to create more awareness that how do you manage, how do you become financially independent, And I'm saying this because there are enough statistics, enough data on the internet saying that once you become financially independent, it gives you much more confidence. Right now, when we are talking about cyberbullying, we are talking about women don't have the confidence. They're looking at the kind of trends on social media. Why do they get influenced? Because they feel when you're not financially independent, when you're dependent on somebody for running your expenses, you are always looking ways to hide your lack of confidence. So it's very, very important that when we talk about women empowerment, at least from India perspective, I feel there has to be financial inclusion of women uh, in our daily routine. Also, as per the report of Accenture, recently Accenture released a report in which they said if government and businesses double the pace at which women use tech or digital space, we could actually reach gender equality in workplaces in developed nations by 2040 and in developing nations by 2060. But how do we bring this women on tech space? How do we ensure that more and more women come and utilize this space? As Dr. Ria was talking about, that how it is very important to bring women on digital space. This can only happen by educating. Now, how do we educate? Now, the education has to start right from root level. What happens that once you grow, when you go out in the once you cross certain age, you deal with the lack of confidence that am I good enough to deal with technology? As it is, as a women, we're always told that tech is not meant for you. You are not tech is something very difficult and it will take time for you to understand it. So we should remove this gender bias right from the school level. At least at school level, you start saying that tech is not based on gender. It is based on your intelligence level, how well technologically you can understand things and how you can contribute to the digital space. Of course, also very importantly, we need to know that how we provide a safe space for women. We have been talking about how the data is misutilized, how there are so many cases and scams that happen by using our data not in the appropriate way. So it's on the government when I say government, it's like on the global government. Every country should take very, very strict step when you use the data and not in the right way, when you misuse the data, when you misuse the information provided by women or anybody per se. Right now, one thing which I strongly propose is that compulsory tech education has to be part of our education system. And as I'm talking, I'm mostly talking from India's perspective, because I see here that still we don't bring technology in all our educational stuff. At school level, still we are resorting to books. So tech has to be part of education system, and that's where women, girls will not feel that this is something dependent on gender, and they will feel equally empowered to deal with tech space and be more on the digital space to contribute, to voice out their thoughts, to be part of the growth journey. So that is my take on and contribution and my input on this day, on this month of International Women's Day 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much. Wow. This is just so awesome. As women, we come together just 1 month. It's about us giving back to the community, not about us marketing our services now, but what we have done, experiences, what we can still do. What is it that when we look at the world, we can do, we can influence more than we have done before? So now one of the panelists is also on board, Dr. Kumuzo. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, tell us who she is and where is she from, and just briefly in 1 minute, what does she do? After Dr. Kumuzo, I'm going to bring you Nisha on stage. She has a surprise for us. All right? Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Kumuzo.
Hi, everyone. Can
We
you
hear
hear
you
me?
clearly. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Um,
Thank you.
I am Komuto Mashalane. I'm very pleased to share this platform with you. Greetings to you all. Greetings to all the listeners all over the world. I'm Komuto. I'm a human resources specialist. I'm a consultant. I'm a women empowerment advocate. I specialize, or my passion is empowering women all over the world, women in South Africa. I am based in South Africa, and I believe that empowerment has to be a holistic approach. Therefore, it is necessary to network as women all over the world to ensure that it's a collaborative effort. Is this just an introduction, Dr. Nziki?
Yes, Dr. Kumu. Also
For now.
include, yes, we are all in this platform today. We all fall under the G100 platform.
Okay.
And we are grateful that we are here together. So please share with us which wing do you lead at the G100?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Dr. Nziki. I am the chair of G100 in South Africa, and I represent wisdom and oneness and wisdom, the oneness and wisdom wing.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and I'm so happy to be with you here. Thank you very much for this platform.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kumutso. And on the platform, we have Dr. Milan Labre. She's from Mexico. All right, let me bring everybody on stage. Dr. Milan Labre, she's from Mexico. She introduced herself, and we have Dr. Ria Love, she's from KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, on the wing together with you, of G100, and Nisha from India. Now, Nisha has a beautiful surprise for us. After the surprise, I'm going to bring back Dr. Kumutso and tell us your views about the topic this year of the UN on the Women's Month on empowering women and girls on the digital space, innovation and technology for gender equality. So let's go with, let's mute our mics, please, when we're not talking, and just allow Nisha to bring the surprise for us. Nisha, please unmute, and I'm bringing you to the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Mitsuki. So on this wonderful International Women's Day, I wrote few lines dedicating it to all the soul sisters across the globe. Here it goes. They will tell you you are aggressive. Be assertive anyways. They will tell you you are very loud. Be vocal anyways. They will tell you you are stubborn. Be firm anyways. They will tell you you are not disciplined. Be yourself anyway. They will tell you you are a rebel. Be crazy anyway. They will tell you you are just a woman. Be the women anyway. Because what they say really doesn't matter and may not be right. What really matters is you and what makes your day bright. Wishing once again all my soul sisters out there a happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much.
Wow. Let's unmute poetry. This is what we do. This is what we do. Yes, yes, yes. Tap, 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 tap. Thank you so much. That was
Thank you.
powerful.
Thank you so
Powerful.
much.
Wonderful. You're most welcome. That was a beautiful and powerful poem dedicated to all of us women in you know
Across the globe.
across the globe. Yes, that's what we are. And thank you so much for coming together. And we are live on Facebook. We have comments. We've got love from Dr. Ria Love. Lovely leaders. Thank you so much with a heart. I love too. Thank you, thank you, thank you, leaders. Let me bring now again Dr. Kumuto. Please unmute and then share your views now about this topic and what you see that maybe you have worked on it, what we should be doing as women, and how to go forward. Just share what is in your heart about it.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again, Dr. Nziki, for this opportunity. I think this is a very great topic indeed, because I believe that innovation and digitization are really at the core of women empowerment. And I believe that as long as they are not prioritized, it will be very difficult to really achieve women empowerment fully. The first thing that is very important for me is that transparency is very, very important when people collaborate as far as digitization is concerned. I think the issue of diversity and inclusion is very, very critical, so that all people play a very important role within an organization or within a community, depending on where this uh, comes to play. So it's important to include all the stakeholders at all levels. If it's an organization, make sure that you include all the levels of the hierarchy of the organization, depending on how it is structured, from the leadership. And the leadership plays a very important role in executing this, or in making sure that the strategy is being executed by all the divisions of the organization, to make sure that it is delivered properly. And it is also very important to measure the outcomes and the deliverables, and of course have clear deliverables of these objectives or the strategy, and make sure that it is understood from an operational point of view. The other thing that is very important is making sure that it is accessible to all. And remember, digitization and innovation are enablers. They are not necessarily the main drivers or the ultimate end. So it means the most important thing we must never forget is that there is that human element, that, or the human aspect, that we have to take into account. So it is very important to include everyone, especially the people this is intended for. In this particular case, we are putting women at the forefront or as beneficiaries of this, and it is very important to make sure that there is accessibility. The people that are going to use or to benefit from this have access to that. So it's important to include them, and there's a very critical role of research here to make sure that they will benefit and they will be having access to this, whether it's phones, whether it's cash transfer. I mean, that's financial inclusion as well. The previous lady just mentioned the importance of financial stability as well. Just to ensure that women have access to ATM or to finances, or they are able to reach the benefits of having those financial means, that help them to strengthen their decision making as women. And they have access to, gadgets like phones, laptops, depending on which market or the audience or the people that this is trying to target. Remember, the women are at different spaces. Some are in rural areas, like in South Africa. So you have to make sure that if they're in rural areas, what are the things, or what level of digitization can help so that they can access it fully and make sure that it is to their own benefit, because there's no point in trying to improve digitization or trying to use digitization as an enabler, but not really researching the market or the audience or the end user, and not really understanding how they're going to use it, how they are going to access it. So it is very, very important. And the question of literacy also comes to play, because in other countries or even other villages or towns, some people were not exposed to education. So the level of education is very, very important. It has to be taken into account. So I think we must also consider the benefits of digitization. It's no longer, a luxury. It is, I think it is imperative for all organizations, for communities, to make sure that there is innovation and digitization. Otherwise, our role of developing women it will not be fulfilled, because I don't believe that you can really empower women without employing all this or fully using the digital space. The benefits that we have are things like productivity. I think there's maximized productivity when we use all these resources and functions. And the other benefit is reduced cost, because we know things are very expensive. But when there's digitization, it brings people to the product, or there's just that value chain, or everybody has access, and all the levels of production have access. And there's also increased competitiveness, because people are effective. It enables people to be more effective in what they do. Even with us as advocates of women empowerment, we become more active, more effective, more efficient, and we help other women to be more efficient and more effective in their respective roles. So that is why it's very, very, very important, and it has to be done in partnerships as well all the time. And there's increased profitability when we use digitization and innovation, because there are no losses. Well, there may be losses, but I think they are a bit controlled. There's a level of control. But also what we have to be careful of, or to take into account, is that when we employ digitization and innovation, we have to embrace failure, because these are changes. We are at that space where we have to experience that paradigm shift, because it was not the means that was used in the past. So there's going to be a level of testing. So we must expect in innovation, we must expect failure, and embrace failure, and also embrace taking risks. So there has to be a level of risk mitigation as well, a means or a certain group that is dedicated to making sure that that risk is a calculated risk, and dedicate the right resources, because if you do not dedicate resources, then it will not be effective. You will not be able to achieve it fully. And train employers, train employees, train everybody within the organization about what they're expecting, and they have to you have to get buy-in, of they all have to see the benefits of innovation and digitization, and see that it's always improved productivity, and it's always important to measure that productivity at every level, at every stage. There must be important or clear key performance indicators, because as long as you employ something and you do not measure it, if you can measure it, then you will not be able to see the outcomes and be able to link the outcomes with the clear actions, so that you know when you repeat that you are repeating the correct thing. And there must be improved brand recognition and value. So it's about the value creation. We have to make sure that we create value all the time when we do that, and with the right partnerships within the organization. So it's a collaborative effort. Everybody must be aware of that and must know what we are trying to do, what is expected, how do we measure the success, what are the success stories, so that going forward, we continue to align the ideas and the challenges with the company values. It's very important to do that, and it has to be part of the strategy, the bigger strategy and the vision of the company. Always, I believe that the leader within every organization, whether it's an organization or a community, the leader must be a visionary, a very strong leader. Strong doesn't mean strict or impossible, but strong means a leader who has empathy, a leader who can be corrected, because there will be trials and there will be mistakes. Then you learn from those mistakes. For example, there's a company that is called SAP. It's a software building company. They once made a huge mistake by learning that their recruitment strategy was
Yes.
excluding women. There was this bias. Please stop me if I'm...
Yes, yes. I would love to stop you here so that we
Okay.
all flow within the same time range. Yes.
All
The
right.
examples will come on the next round. Yeah. So you'll
right.
carry on with that example. Thank you so much for the power pack, the intro. We just wanted to know what's your thoughts on this one for this time. Then we go into the next round now so that we understand again. We go back to the first speaker. So we understand now we are talking about accelerating the access for women and girls. And we know some areas have no infrastructure at all. Some have no resources. What is it that we can even think of as we are here on the platform, or things we have done in the past, or where we think we can collaborate, we come together and say, this is how it should be done to accelerate? Because really, it's a necessity, but we don't have it. So how do we move on with this situation? Dr. Milan, I bring you on stage.
Thank you. So I've been listening to all of your comments and your thoughts, and I agree with lots of what you say. For me, I think one of the biggest thing is people are just not emotionally intelligent enough to keep up with technology. So we can try to push people into the future. We can talk about like how we need to, get more digital technology into people's hands, and we need to, we need to talk about bullying. We need to talk about, all of these issues. But I think there's something really fundamental missing in this before we can even talk about technology, and that's emotional intelligence and nonviolent communication. I think so many people on the planet, women aside, men aside, like the collective, are really lacking some fundamentals. And so before we can even put some of these financial things into place and these understanding, if we don't understand ourselves and we don't have healthy coping strategies, it's going to be really, really hard to even deal with the technology that's coming at us. And we're already seeing that. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying, in the fact that, women, we're raising like this next generation of children who are really leaning into some strong narcissistic characteristics, and they're not able to effectively communicate, and they're using digital technology to have conversations and to break up with people and to bully and get out all of these things. And so when we lean into education and we talk more about things like emotional intelligence, educare, values, I think that's where we need to start before we get too far ahead of ourselves, because we can throw all the technology and all of that at people and we can give them the tools. But if they don't have the inner tools, then all that stuff just becomes like another distraction. And I want to give everybody an opportunity, so I'm not going to say too much else, but that's my little bit of a take on this.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Milan. I'm not going to repeat. I'm just going to go to the next speaker so we don't run out of time. All right. Dr. Ria, take it away.
Greetings, everybody. As I said, there's just so much to say about it and so many input given to this. So it's an incredible topic to actually touch base upon. I would say, improving the usage. In order for you to have technology, you have to have some sort of advancement that goes with it, like data and Wi-Fi. In order for you to be digitally savvy. That should be accessible in all areas, in everybody's provinces, in their rural, if it's non-rural communities, wherever, it should be easily accessible. Many countries offer free Wi-Fi and free data, and they made it comfortable for everybody, and I cannot mention these names about it, but I think bringing awareness and allowing people to actually have the accessibility firstly for it, to be digitally inclined, is to have be accessible to it first. And when you provide that, and then education comes, where I would touch on the basis for education, that you need to be educated around that same sector. You can't just have what you have in your hand, have all this technology, be digitally informed, but you're not educated as to how to perform things around it. And that is something that should be firstly be implemented, is to how can we access it, give it full potential for everybody to use, especially the young girls growing that need to use digital technology to move forward in life, to become somebody, to grow, to be savvy, to be aware of things, to not be taken advantage of. These things should be in place firstly, and then from there take it forward. And being in a digital world is there now. Look at it, we looking at each other, and we like as if we're sitting in somebody's lounge together, and we're all talking, and it's fantastic. And it's all come about because we are using some sort of virtual Wi-Fi, virtual advancement towards it, and therefore that accessibility is incredible. And also having electricity is also important to actually have your digital. And in that's a whole new subject as well. So it's got to be something really firm standing, where we get to use all these strategy and put them in place, and then form wires around it so that everybody can connect.
Oh, thank you so much. That was awesome. I'm bringing to stage Nisha. Please take it away.
Thanks. I completely concur with Dr. Milan and Dr. Ria's thought process and the solutions that they are bringing on this platform. What I really see is that if we really want more women and girls in the digital space, and if we really want them to explore and leverage this beautiful digital space and the platform, it compulsory tech education and making an very informed and conscious awareness among at the grassroots level, that tech is not something to be scared of. Tech is something that will enable you, but not it is not something that you need certain rocket science to deal with it. No, I think making it more very simple. And how do you use such platforms? What are the different platforms? What are the different ways you can use technology and become digitally aware? I think that is something we really need to do. And as rightly said, that of course we need the infrastructure for creating such awareness. What as a women, as individual, what we can do, I think we are so well connected. If we can create some campaigns, and we had very solid campaigns. Dr. Miran was already mentioning, I think hashtag me too was a very powerful campaign. So if we can create and propagate and support some campaign saying that how government at state level, at country level, should create such infrastructure, should give certain platforms where more and more education, more and more training on how to use the digital space and technology is given. I think then we will see more and more girls and women coming on this a thing called digital space. And it is such a beautiful platform. As Dr. Ria was saying, we're sitting and we're talking, and we're sitting in some lounge and discussing about such an important topic. So this gives such a beautiful place, beautiful space to, sitting here, I can talk about some problems which maybe somebody sitting right across the globe going through the same challenge and know how to deal with it. So I think it's all about bringing, uplifting, and making tech and digital space as simple as drinking water or breathing. Then we will see more and more people coming. And this the saying goes, it takes one empowered woman to empower another. I think if we feel that we have those capabilities, why don't we all come together and propose and support this campaign? So this is how I feel we can really create a difference and see a lot of women and girls coming on digital space to really leverage this beautiful platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kumutsu, get ready to come on board. I see you are just on pick. Are you ready to show? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Just your brief thoughts again on this. How do we really just accelerate this with practicals? Like you are giving some of the nuggets. You now maybe you can share that example of the SAP that we're talking about. But up to you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Nsiki. You mentioned something very, very crucial, and that is accelerating. It is very, very important, and I think acceleration depends on a number of things because I just believe that digitization cannot function in isolation. I think the first thing that is very, very important is just, awareness, creating awareness within, all the women and girls so that they embrace and believe in themselves when it comes to digitization. And the other thing that is very important is training, making sure that they have access to training, they're trained fully and they understand. Because if they're not trained, then it's very difficult to achieve. And to create connectivity, because when you look at the statistics, I think 1.1 billion women are unconnected, especially in low and middle income economies, particularly in the Asia Pacific. So it's important to make sure that they are connected, like to the basics, basic things that will help them to be in an environment where they can access that. The example that I wanted to use is that it is so important to have digitization because it has helped to transform many jobs or roles. So it is very important when you use it to also ensure that it is correctly applied. So I wanted to give an example of SAP, which is a software company that they once made a mistake and hired people in a biased way, which in a way that excluded women, but they corrected it and then they used artificial intelligence to employ women, and as a result, more women are employed. So when you use it, I think now and then it's important to check whether it was applicable to ensure that we accelerate, So it's important to check ourselves or to check the role players to ensure that it is really accessible, so that it's just not doing it for the sake of doing it or for complying with the policies of the organization. So I think it is very important. I was very, very touched when I saw that example of SAP when they changed, their execution of how they employed people when they realized that they actually have excluded, or their strategy excluded other women from getting certain jobs, which I think has to be done these days to ensure that accessibility. And because there's no point in having it within the company policies, but not really making sure that it is accessible, or because that's another way of accelerating it, to make sure that it's accessible. We fast forward, we make sure and speed the process and make sure that everybody that is stakeholders are aware that or is up to speed in terms of how we want to deliver it and the speed at which it has to be delivered. I think that's really what I wanted to share as far as acceleration is concerned, so that it is productive and we are resourceful and it's impactful. That is very, very important.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
thank
much.
you very much for listening.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the leaders. I can be, boldly saying to all the G100 leaders globally and WAF, thank you so much for such powerful and inspirational, motivational, influencing the world through this digital space. Look at us. We are a e-virtual global family right now because of this digitalization. And let's take the comments from Facebook from one of our viewers and our followers. She is also a contributor on Power to Lead show. She's been on the platform a number of times. I've been on her platforms. She is a radio host from Botswana, one of the countries in Africa. Patricia Nkwane says, we need to come together as women, then impact will be felt as we need to be intentional about our reciprocity. Let's be crazy about sending elevators down there to pick more women to their amazing platforms. How can we send these elevators down? How do we? I have this other line that says, as you rise, lift me up. So now these are the elevators that we're going to drop down there to lift others to rise. So let's see. Can we maybe just talk on her contribution online and then we get to the next one? I'm going to bring Dr. Milan again to stage. Just speak on that elevator being dropped and picking somebody up as you rise. How are we going to lift others? Opportunities, anything, just take the mic away.
Well, I'm going to keep this really brief. Jane Addams once said, "We stand today united in a belief in beauty, genius, and courage, and that these can transform the world." And so I think the best way that we can lift each other up, lift all of us up, is let's be the transformation that we seek. And that is, I think, first and foremost, is that to have integrity, alignment with our thoughts, words, and deeds. And so as we're moving through the world, let's model these behaviors and show other women how it's done, because I think that is the best way that we can impact anybody, is to change ourselves and then change the world.
Thank you. Dr. Ria, your thoughts? As you rise, lift me up.
Sorry. It's very important that we do lift each other up. Many people, women, have the PhD syndrome, the pull her down syndrome, and that needs to end and stop. Elevating needs to come from any aspect, from all angles, and to use that to bring women from different platforms and stand them there and let them showcase what it is that they can bring forth into the aspects of digital world, in all platforms, in anything intentional. And that would be, for me to say, is encouragement and simply being kind and saying one nice thing, even if you don't like to, you just do it. When you say a kind thing and say a kind word, instantly you become kind, and you form some sort of positivity around yourself, and it showcases energy moves. And that's what I believe. I'm trying to keep it brief, so I'm just going to say elevation is important, and we should do it on a daily basis.
Thank you. Nisha, as you rise, lift me up.
Thanks. I think I will also like to go with the quote of Rosalind Barr, who says, "The thing women have yet to learn is nobody gives you power, you just take it." So, my elevator to bring other women is that you need to be financially independent. I think if you become financially independent, the confidence just gets into you, and not only you lift yourself up, you lift others around you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow. Dr. Kumuso, a short one as well. As you rise, lift me up. Your thoughts?
I believe that, I believe that every woman must have a strategy of how she's going to impact other women like herself, because it doesn't end with you. Every woman must intentionally be a multiplier. When I say multiplier, I mean, there are leaders who are diminishers. Some are not aware of that. They are not aware that they are diminishers. They work with geniuses around them in in a corporate space and other spaces. They work with very intelligent people, but they are unable to utilize the talent. Instead, they diminish the talent of other people around them. So we must make it a point that we don't diminish other people. Let people grow, even if they grow beyond where you are. So let's elevate other people. And in simpler terms, let's share, let's encourage one another, let's support, let's be genuinely interested. Listen to what other people say, support them, encourage them, motivate them, because it also boosts your energy. It boosts your morale. You just feel good about it. I think what I want to say is that discouraging another woman or depowering another woman will not empower you. That's what we need to be aware of. I think as a team today, we can make that decision that we are constantly going to improve how we impact other women and how we encourage other women to encourage that. So we change the culture by, changing ourselves, because real change has to start with you, how you do things. It doesn't have to end with you. Share with other women. That's what I believe. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Dr. Koso. Now we have another comment online, also from the same country of Botswana. Nancy Chai, we opened the platform and we opened the International Women's Month together with this great speaker. This woman has done some great things, being creative, learning from YouTube to make peanut butter from home, from peanuts, to make cooking oil from home, teaching herself through digital space. And now she's saying, we can be each other's ladders as women. I am so inspired this evening. And now this is our roundup. Last line, our last comments, because this is Empower Hour and we are about to close the show. This is so inspirational. I am also so inspired too, Nancy. So this inspiration comes through Power to Lead show, Empower Hour. So now, can we come together again, just as the leaders, a short round of just your closing comments, and then I can ask each one of you a very famous question that you must all answer before we leave this platform. A quick one, your closing notes. Dr. Milan, your closing notes. Unmute, please. Unmute.
Oops, sorry about that.
All right.
I thought I hit the button.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to leave you with another quote, and that is, optimism is the faith that leads us to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And I'm going to add one more thing to that quote by Helen Keller, and done without women. We are definitely the leaders. We are the change makers, and we are the future. And so I am really grateful for having this opportunity to be with other powerful women and sharing this very inspirational message. So thank you so much for inviting me and for the time today.
Thank you. Over to Dr. Ria.
I am the founder of A Journey Beyond Inspiration. For me, to leave a fitting line, I would say to everyone out there, is to make your journey an inspiration. Love yourself first before you love others. When you love yourself, it's easy to love anybody around you. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. Over to India. Nisha,
Thank
take
you.
it away.
I would like again to leave with a simple quote. If you educate a man, be it tech or otherwise, you're educating a person. But if you educate a woman in tech or otherwise, you're educating a family. The choice is yours. who is more important to be educated. Thank you so much.
Wow. Dr. Kumutso, your closing line. Then I bring everyone on stage.
Okay, I'm just going to leave you with a few quotes. The first one is, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. The second one is, no person is your friend who demands your silence or denies your right to grow. And the most common way people give us, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. So those are the quotes. And nothing changes if you don't change. So if we want to change, we cannot change by remaining what we are. So I think, in other words, we have to action, we have to have actionable points and clear deliverables in order to achieve this women empowerment journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kumutso. Thank you to all the speakers. Power to Lead Show mission is to heal, educate, empower, innovate, influence, impact, inspire to love yourself first, and love to live, to do what you love, and leave a leadership heritage and legacy of integrity. We are intentional about integrity and being leaders of integrity. So, to you, all my beautiful speakers who are coming from all over the world, happy International Women's Month to you, and to the viewers. Thank you for accelerating inclusion for women and girls through economic transformation. Now, I have a famous question. You cannot leave the stage without answering this one. What is the legacy that you want to leave today and to live on earth? Dr. Milan, and we go around again. This is our closing line. Thank you.
The legacy that I want to or lead.
Yes.
I would like to be the change that I would like to see. I think that it is my favorite quote. And just to live with integrity and authenticity and live life with passion, and to be able to model that, that courage to live in that truth would be the thing that I would like to leave to the world and to myself and to give to myself.
Okay, wonderful. Victoria?
I believe I was born to inspire, so I would choose to make my journey an inspiration in every way possible that I can.
Wonderful. And over to you, Nisha.
I would like to contribute, and I would like people to remember me, that if at all I could make a difference in even a single woman or a girl's life and could help them become financially independent, financially free, I think that would be my legacy and my contribution to my life and the purpose of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kumutso. The legacy.
My legacy, or the way I live, the way in which I live my life, is that is to show women that you have to embrace your life in totality. Your successes, your mistakes, your shortfalls, your limitations, your failures, embrace all of them. And don't feel sorry for yourself. Never allow self-pity. Never allow anybody to host a self-pity party for you, no matter what circumstances you're facing or what situation you're facing. And don't be a conformist. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Because conformists do not make or are not change makers. That's all I can say. Just embrace everything about you, your mistakes, your flaws. You don't have to be perfect. Just be you. Just be authentic.
Thank
You are
you.
enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just be authentic. You are enough. The power is within you. Thank you to our viewers. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow us. We love the following. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel on Power to Lead Show with Nsiki Ngcoco. I love you unconditionally. And to those who would love to partner with us and collaborate, sponsor a show, or flight your services on the show, please DM me, Dr. Nsiki Ngcoco, and we can connect and talk and see how we collaborate and do this thing. Let's stop talking. Let's do the doing now. And let's take action in everything that we speak about. This is not just a show for ticking the box, it's a show to get to action. Thank you to our sponsors, Vuka Africa Foundation in Johannesburg in South Africa. They are the anchors of the show. And Amen Show Amplified Moms Empowerment Network in California in USA. Thank you for loving us with great love to collaborate and sponsor our show and platform. Now to the viewers, we are all going to say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the viewers.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you. Bye.
yes, continue to. Thank you, Global Sisters. A virtual hug to all of you. Thank you so, so much, G100 leaders. God bless you all. Have a very good morning, day, time, and evening in Africa. I love you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Stay behind scenes, please.